Good morning. Yo, yo, yo. Pop the stuff out. Not really interested in whatever goes on until about 10 o'clock, so we can hang out until then. We had red folder, I believe, at 8:30. Little surprised we haven't taken the overnight low yet. We could be heading for this. Obviously, needs no introduction. Needs no introduction at all. Right? So, massive volatility. Let's have a look. Right? 26, 27 VIX. Not to be played around with. So make sure you guys are sizing accordingly. I have actually dropped my size just to make sure that that I don't get taken out of anything that goes on. We'll just enjoy my coffee in the meantime, lads. We'll see what goes on here. Today is Thursday, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, PMI at 10 o'clock. Right. Okay, just making sure that I'm on the right spot. Hopefully we don't get a limit down day. I think that's the expectation. Hey, Ulysses, what's going on, man? Hey, Gree. I think everybody's expecting death. Usually when everybody's expecting death, I expect a rally. The main concern is when there's usually high impact fundamentals and you get this sort of panic. It kind of demands a bit of respect. We attempted here, so I like that internal failure a lot, which means like if we had something like this which failed and then we couldn't take the bottom, then I'd be expecting at least this high and then maybe even higher. But the fact that we didn't, I'm still heavily bearish. And you might go, well, yeah, no shit. But the reality of it is that structurally, we've got this consolidation, we've returned to it. If we can't break above it convincingly, then down we go. Down we go. That's actually a nice little inversion. Did we take anything? We did not. So this would be very, very risky, but it could be a first trade of the day. You could argue that I should have already been involved in it. The midpoint of that's about 24 or so. And I'm going to hit that. Ooh. Ah. Well, that would have been the fastest 30 points. Well, probably not the fastest 30 points given the day. But that's the trade. That's the trade. Right? Same sort of idea as this actually. Right? So this got disrespected here. Now that's a little bit trickier. You would have had to wait for this and it didn't actually give you a retest. I won't be hitting it now, even if it does fail. Doesn't mean that the setup's invalid, but it means that I'm not really wild about the respect that happened here. I think if it was going to fail, it was going to fail when it traded underneath this. So if you're involved, you're probably expecting death from here, and if it's not, then you're gonna have to mitigate very, very quickly. This is not what we want to see for this here, at least. Right, we could be trading up to midnight open. We'll see. They're putting up a fight, that's for sure. I think a lot of people are selling. Disconnected. Wonderful. You guys still here? It said OBS got disconnected or something. Weird. Super weird. It said OBS disconnected. This is actually much better, but still we're looking at the 15-minute. Ideally, I wanted that swept. We did take this flat top, right? But you'll see that this high actually didn't do anything. This would be a higher conviction trade. Now, notice we haven't actually taken the midnight open yet, right? But we have swept our 15-minute candle and this flat top now. So you could argue we've completed objectives higher if we want to trade lower, right? So we're seeing a little bit of semblance of that. Should this close and disrespect here, ideally we break this order flow as well, and then we would get a violent movement back up. Bear in mind we still have news. We still have news. And this could just dump, right? There's your swing point broken, 87.5 to 82s, cool. We'll look for a trade up at third, well, anywhere in between 25 and 34, I think I'll hit this short. What did I see on the 15-minute? This was aggressive, but that was just like the delivery of it, right? And then this traded back in, and we got our movement down immediately, cool. But and then our target here, we've just tapped into the 5-minute imbalance, so that's a little concerning, but breaking order flow, failing at a key area of interest. I think I might have actually just missed that entry explaining that. Get back up there. Okay, 27s, am I gonna miss it? Yeah, I'm gonna miss it. Ah. Okay. We'll see what goes on now. Yapping away, just missed out on 50 points. 50 points per. Well deserved. Well deserved. We'll see what this 50-minute candle opens like. All right, this is obviously quite violent, but it will close bullish. Ooh, that's a little bit dangerous now. Very sus if we tap into here and fail. I might get a scalp out of it, but not really exactly what I wanted to see, even if we did break order flow. I wanted to see something strong, and then ideally closing here, trading back into the open of this one. I think given higher time frame movement, we might just have momentum to the downside and it won't let me get in, but no, that's not on you guys. That's not on you guys. That's on me. But this was a lot less probability than this one, in my opinion. Right? This should be like a break even and just let it cook down to 910, maybe even lower. Could be looking at a 100-point trade or so. Now again, if this can close, cool. And now we're looking to trade up here. We want this 5-minute imbalance disrespected. That would give people a 5-minute inversion, right? We actually do have that high at 57, that closed at 58, so this is a valid high on the 5, or will be, assuming we close in 40 seconds underneath it. And you're looking at the 15 now being gross. Gross, gross, gross. Okay. Still liking this. Think we get a shove. Ideally, we get to test the midpoint of this 15-minute stab. We're looking at this as manipulation, right? We actually got a closure above that as well, right? So we want this manipulation leg to hold, right? We got our stab into it here. Failure. Cool. There's your 50-minute open going haywire. We'll see if we get a stab back up here or not, but see if we can make some money, lads. But again, our job is to manage risk first and foremost. Definitely not looking long, even if that does run up. And that could make me look a little silly, especially if we trade to midnight open. But I can't justify chasing here. That would have been a decent stab, that open that I was looking for, finally after this, but we'll see what goes on. I think the longer we mess around down here, the worse it gets for the bearish movement. They want to see like a cataclysmic death drop. Right? This is kind of lethargic here, which should lead to a pop as people get very, very heavily short, wanting death, at least underneath this. And so far, no bueno. For me, no semblance of failure in order to get involved. I love the bearish order flow, but we'll see. Hey, Rito, how you doing, man? This is nasty business. I need a push up and some form of failure in order to get involved now. If it just bases here and drops, then I'll have to wait for something a little bit more conclusive later on. I like it, but that's more fundamentally driven than anything else. Beautiful, man. That's all you need, especially on these kind of days, right? People will have an immense desire to come back into the market, right? They'll short and then they'll be up what? Like this is 30 points, that 1 minute candle. So they'll take 30 and then they'll come back and stop them out break even. So they'll hit it here and they'll get stopped out. Make sure you guys are managing your emotions and your risk accordingly, eh? And that goes for me as well. Right? Want to see what ends up happening with this candle, right? We did take liquidity, yes. Do we get any sort of movement back up into here to test it, or are we just going to die? This is getting a little suspect. It won't fit any strategy that I have for long, really, other than price action. But even then, like, I would have to have like something like this, which would then have like a weak return back into this equilibrium. Right now, this is just grinding lower and probably just gonna dump. But we'll see what 950 brings. Based off this lethargic movement, I think that we're gonna get either capitulation and just drop, or it's gonna be violent the other way. I don't think we'll base here. There it comes. There it comes. Looks crazy. I just closed the trading platforms. Yeah, this is where people blow accounts. This is where people blow accounts. Can't go long here until it just runs. Right? But people trying to short because they've missed this entire movement. And they're looking at this being 120 points already. And now look at this. Now look at this. And there's your 15. Forgot we were on YouTube. I put an event, Dave. I put an event in the Discord. Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Bulls want to see this stab into here defended violently. Bears want to see like some form of a sweep and then just like a death candle. We will see. This I'm very, very hesitant about. I can completely understand it 9 from here, but this concerns me, at least so far. They slept fully through. Look at this. This is the last bit of defense at around 40 here or so. They're running it. Let's see what we get if we stab back in. If we stab back in, that is. I might have to market this. We'll see. This is a little bit sus, obviously, but I will be out extremely quick if it doesn't just die from here. And looking at minimum for 90s. Don't want to see consolidation. I definitely don't want to see this bar just bought up immediately. Like, thank you very much. Gotta go. She's gotta go now or else she's building an SMDR. Okay, that's my signal, go break even. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. At least down into this order block, which I don't expect to hold, but I don't want to really hold through news either. She's got to go. She's got to go. Don't want it coming back to the open. I'll manually exit this at 4s if it comes back. And mainly because, there we go. No reason really to get out structurally. I don't want to hold through red folder news. So if it ends up basing here, which is becoming a little bit more problematic, then make sure that that stops in there. Yeah. Yeah. Exit trigger could have been this candle as well and given back maybe 6 points, who knows? That would have been a structural reason. We like this. A little surprising we didn't trade down into that imbalance, but this equilibrium area, this is not what we want to see on the bearish delivery. So a little annoying that I didn't take that trade. This one, honestly, in hindsight, probably should have passed on it anyway, even though that would have made 30 points or whatever that was. So could be up, what was that, 30-ish? Yeah, 700, 700 and something. Over there. Yeah, over there. There you go. Look at this. Yeah. A little New York, a pre-New York Open. I can't even think of anything, man. This is embarrassing. But I'm sure you guys are clever enough to think of something clever. Look at this. Yeah. What could have been maybe 3 minutes. Anybody here gym before market open? Especially if you're on the East Coast and you don't have to get up at like 4 a.m. for it. This is probably just a market sell there, at least to come back down into this. Took 20 and 20, 40 points. Not even 10 o'clock. Why does it matter if it's 1 micro or 1 mini or 10 minis? Doesn't matter. Right? That's your own limitation. It's nonsense. Only reason I would want to move out east is a later market open. Yep. Yep. Getting a bounce off of this. Again, you got a red folder in about a minute. I like this sweep. I don't like that we have midnight open, but we are also basing here too. So as it stands, right, we validated, now we validated. This should wreck the high. Am I long? No. Should I be long? Maybe. Maybe. I'm practicing relaxing and seeing things rather than impulse panic. Yes. Hey! Cinderella, man. I was thinking about you this week and how you've been doing. No nonsense. Change its name. Change its name. Here's your red folder news, by the way. Caution. Can't bring myself to go along, but this is looking super sus. Yeah, rather than no nonsense capital, we started a school community. And actually, I'll put that link. Yeah, man, we got to catch up, see how you're doing. Got to catch up, see how things are going on your end. Hopefully you're doing really, really well. Ironically, let me see if I can. We're going to be firing this stuff up. I think School is a super cool platform, actually, and trying to help as many people as we can over there. Well, I'd love to see you, obviously. Might have some. Yeah, we'll chat. We'll chat. We got a whole bunch of stuff going on, but I'm glad you're well, man. It's really good to see you. It's funny, people pop into your head and you're kind of like, oh, I wonder how they're doing. Are they doing all right? Maybe they're killing it right now and they just went dark. Yeah, a lot smaller than we think. A lot smaller than we think. Morning, Tim. Or, it's not even Tim anymore, is it? You gotta change everything. This is not the rally they want to see. This is not the death drop we want to see just yet. We'll see if they just brutal force their way down. I have to play the failure, but this is not the rally from this spike back up that they want to see just yet. $33. Yeah, in here, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. I took it to 04, but didn't want to hold for red folder. Obviously, regretting it a little bit now, but took my base hit. These kind of days, historically for me, because of my scalping background, I try and get too cute, do a little bit too much. But I should still be in. Took me out just before news. Good cover, just in case. Here's our 15-minute open. I'll get rid of the overnight extensions because I don't think we need them now. We validated a 15, cool, right? So people are looking for something like this. Boom, right into the wombo combo. Hasn't delivered fully, which is concerning because that means that your 15-minute time frame is not in control in the slightest. And here's your dump. I think it's going to become very, very clear. You could argue that clarity was here where we are shorted, but this is a little bit sus. This is a little bit sus. We'll see what we get here. If you are short, obviously you're quite happy, right? And my advice would be, it's very, very easy to look at this being 100 or 150 or whatever points down, and that could end up violently going on. But you want to make sure that you're managing your risk accurately. And what I mean by that is, say you're short from in here, your stop goes above this candle, maybe above this one now, assuming we get follow through, and you're looking for them to pay you to get out, in a sense. Right? So we've just taken this major low. That's our 930 low. New York open. I don't think we want to see this, that displaced underneath this equilibrium. I don't think we want to see that taken. Right? It's kind of nested inside of this 5-minute as well. And your 15 obviously looks very, very gross. But we were expecting that 5-minute imbalance to be disrespected too. So ideally this trades back in. If we get a violent movement from here, then I think we continue on with our bearish delivery. If not, then we got something else. Wow. Trading views all over the shop for me. That's going to immediately, I want this to immediately die. This is a bit of a chase, but I wanted that to go red to green. It did. Or sorry, green to red. If it doesn't go from here, then I think we take this high pretty much immediately. I don't want to see it chopping around here. There we go. There we go. Should take the lows and run. And don't want to see it coming back to here. So looking for the lows. And don't want it to take that high now. There it goes. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. Doesn't matter if that's 1 micro, 10 minis, 5 points, 10 points, 30 points, whatever. Right? Find a way to get involved when you have a clear draw and failure. Find a way. Right? So this candle went up, traded in, respected, cool. Was green, went red, and now we put our stop at the high. Right? Expecting it to make a new low, even if it wants to rally. Even if it wants to rally from here, which it looks like it's going to. Typically, we need some form of internal failure. So this was either going to disrespect that imbalance. And by the way, was that a 5-minute as well? Yeah, well, it was creating one. Still creating one, technically. Right? And that's these accounts done. Right? 70.6. Running these ETF accounts up. 70.6. Inverse fractal holding price. Yes. That's right. Right at the midpoint. Which is the best possible entry. Yes, absolutely. Now, for me, internal failure and then trading back up into it, this is a little bit more sus. And when you would expect this to work is if we're inside of a range that you're expecting to take something significant. For example, this should, if it trades below here, continue on and then break this area here. So when we read things structurally, you've got an SMDR here. You could argue this is one as well, and I think that's fair. We expected this higher time frame overnight low to get taken. Again, 90% chance that either this is going or this is going. One of them is going today. That was satisfied very, very early yesterday, I believe. right? You had 830. Here's your overnight low, taken at the open, and then we actually ran the overnight highs as well. And now a 15-minute opening range of about 200 points yesterday. We were expecting something volatile. Did we predict this at the end of day? No. No, I did not. Right? So what we don't want to see, even though we're incredibly bearish, and we expect it to continue. We expect it to continue. If we sweep and fail, we don't get displacement underneath this 15-minute opening range low. Then our 15-minute candle is strong. And if we sweep and fail it, we're running the high. So what we need to see? Well, probably a start would be this 5-minute inversion disrespected. This 1 and this 5. Am I long? Not necessarily. I think these accounts are probably parked for the day. These accounts are probably parked for the day. You could argue that I probably should still be in something here with a stop above here. And then what's your risk reward on that? Probably pretty good. Say I was in from, well, let's even say something casual, and we've got this, right? You're easily at a 1-to-1. We already got that delivered, cool. But we're expecting this low. And all of a sudden you're at a 81-point trade, risking 37. Mathematically makes sense. Three and a half minutes, my mistake. That we need to know what's going on with this. I don't really see, like this is accumulation, true, but we would need a higher time frame push for me to get long. That would be the only thing that I would consider longing off of. I won't look at this area or this. Bearish order flow, high volatility. Taking sweeps gets me murdered, so not really interested. I'm gonna move this over and make that bigger screen. And I'm just going to log out of ETF and then run up my take profit accounts here now. Yes, I do trade them separately. Yes, I think it's a bad idea. Are we green, lads? How are we doing? This just continues on, which is great. Great for people that are continuing to short anyways. It's getting a little bit interesting to me. I'm not seeing any reason to go long. Right? I think at best, when you're looking at this, this is kind of stage 1 of failure, right? Stage 2 would be at least a body closure above this, and then you want that attempt. This is stage 3, where you've got that attempt to trade back in that fails, and then you're expecting higher. That's how reversals are formed. Green indeed. Good. Good, good, good. Let's get that back over there. And there we go. back to business. This is nonsense. Let's even make it a bigger chart. Yeah. It's more this SNDR area that pushed rather than the imbalance itself. You could argue this area here, right? So rather than looking at this, you're looking at this. You're looking at that. Right? This one? Yeah, red folder kind of throwing a little bit of a hammer into things, but like this there, you could argue it. I think I took one there, and then that was my next one. I missed this. That would have been very, very strong. And then that one I considered. In retrospect, I think waiting for that liquidity to get taken is far stronger. This is not really liking this, but you got a 15-minute validation now. Yeah. Beautiful short, Tim, regardless, man. You've been lights out this week. I love it. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So like this here. Violent break. Created imbalance, disrespected, trades back into it, gone, trades back into it again, gone. And that's why I kind of say like this trade that I considered, even though that, like it doesn't look as nice, obviously here. Like that candle, why are you shorting on that candle? How would you have made money? But this actually stabbed up, failed inside of here, that imbalance there. And then traded down, took that low before closing bullish. Now, I certainly think that that was a little sauce to be taking, right? This is sort of your first pullback. We expect it to run the highs. I didn't really like the strong move, but again, that's more inducement, I suppose. This is, 5-minute imbalance, maybe 54.50. I don't like the lack of urgency closing underneath this. It looks like we've actually swept below it into this major area that drove price in the morning. Right? We didn't sweep the 15-minute low, so I'm not really looking at longs. Right, we got a body closure, so I think we're retracing to get short. Whether we only retrace to this equilibrium and then dump, I think that this is a valid scalp as it is. Obviously, I'm not involved. I'm more concerned if we continue to rally into something a little bit more conclusive, which would be probably this area here. We'll see. You've got your news candle as well. Actually, I should mark out that high. despite heavy confluence and conviction and everything in the bearish price action from a fundamental and everything else, it's easy to want to just hop in. Not really anything that I'm into. Despite it being extremely profitable. Not really interested. Right? Now that saves me from going long, but man, obviously a lot of money to be made short. And you're seeing the same sort of thing as we just continue to deliver lower. These areas just respected on the way down. Right? Trades back up to equilibrium, inverses. Down it goes. High volatility environments. And you'll find that high volatility environments actually respect price quite a bit. As they tempt everybody to get long just for rally's sake. Right? Look at this. Right? Was there long setups? Yeah, probably. You could probably argue like something like this or even that. Right? Both of which might have delivered to the 23.6. But top-down analysis matters. Top-down analysis matters. And then what happens? We see this, and where do you think everybody's shorting? Do you think they're shorting here? No, they're kind of going, well, it's flying up. And then it starts dumping, and they start shorting here. Let's take the lows, lads. I don't want to miss it again. And then what ends up happening? We run back up. Not exactly my cup of tea. Now, did we trade into that imbalance? No, we did not. We still have that 50. Now, this is just shoving down. I can't justify longs, but be hard pressed to get me to short down here as well. So we sit and be patient. Wait for something that we see that we have an edge on. At least a draw. You could argue that our draw right now is 819. Which is where I think it's going. Surprise, surprise. But we actually were talking about that in here. If there wasn't red folder news, and this is such, I'm not making excuses whatsoever for not holding this trade. Right? The conviction was this. That's why I took this short. It wasn't to make 10, 20, 30, 50, whatever points. Right? This is the draw, so I want to be aligned with that higher time frame movement. Whether I hold and it evolves or not has to do with red folder news and prop drawdown and everything else like that. But it's going here. Right? We just validated a 15-minute low, or sorry, 15-minute high. Took major liquidity on the way up. I don't like how lethargic this is. But this is not what you want to see to run to your highs. I think you would need to see a whole bunch of different things occur pretty quickly in order to reverse that theory. Right? Internal failure, okay, that's number one. For the same reason that this movement ended up being on a smaller time frame. Right? Now you want to see this low actually deliver something, like a higher time frame push up. And then you want to see the movement come back from an intermediate standpoint. Yeah, I mean, these are 80 to 100 point legs. And this is why that I think VIX being at 27.8, man. People that have no business being profitable are profitable today. Because they're shorting here and they're making 10 or 20 points. Where's their risk? They have no idea. Maybe it'll be above here. I'll just make another 10 points. Cool. No business being in the market. And yet, they're making money because of the volatility. Right? Or they're going long here for God knows what reason, and they're making 25 points. People do this stuff. Oh, bull bar. Now this is a little bit sus, right? So I joke about going long off of emotional reactions, but this is definitely not a short. This is, you're starting to get exactly what we're just talking about. Right? Now that could be just flying into this manipulation area and then dumping down, similar to what we got here, similar to what we got here, even here on an intermediate standpoint, etc., etc. What I'm worried about is that this movement, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. This is number 5 attempts to reverse this trend. Lethargic movement leads to violence, usually. Whether we're able to get involved or not is irrelevant. But we can always analyze and understand why price is doing or what we can expect in terms of, hey, you know what? I got to actually stay out of trouble here. This is danger time. This is maybe I'll sit on my hands and wait for something a little bit more conclusive. And I think that's a much, much better way of looking at the market. Right? Because staying out of trouble should be our first and foremost priority. No matter what. Now, this is sus. Maybe we trade back down to here and bounce. I think that's valid. I'm not wild about taking longs inside of bearish movement. The only reason I would even consider is because this is lethargic and I would expect a movement back up into here. Right? That didn't really come down to where I expected. Even though we're inside of this imbalance, you could argue, right? We've swept the 930 high or low, the 930 low. Right? Look at your 15-minute now. Where do you think it's heading? If you're looking at this, it's heading here, which is that high that we had marked out before. 19,002. Nasty business. Taking liquidity, coming back in. I don't think people want to see this 24 hold if they're aggressively looking short. But we'll see. Could be an internal failure, and then we're going to run the lows, which is still the draw. I don't care where this goes to. That's still the draw. This one, that's just to the right of the chart here. This one. $15 looking sus. We got a minute left on this 1030 reversal. That's Structure Pilot Vision by Wang. I actually really like this indicator. I feel awful. Somebody, I don't remember who it was exactly that introduced it to us. But it saves me flipping back and forth on different time frames explaining what I'm seeing. You're welcome. And then I use this this one here, this kill zones and pivots, so that I plot the midnight open. And that's all I use that one for. Other than that, there's no real indicators or any special sauce or anything like that on here. That sweep, that did sweep. Son of a... 1030 coming in hot. You could argue accumulation, manipulation, and we're concerned if it just dumps. I still like this area of interest, but we'll see. Again, hard pressed going long. We did break order flow here. If we hold this 930 open, we could be looking for that movement up to 9,002. Not really super clear for me. I'd love if we got like a a weak bear bar or something here for me to justify getting involved. I did like that sweep, but I thought those were equal lows, so I was waiting for them to get taken. So that was my mistake, yapping away. Right, but at the very least, you see this spike, you see lethargic movement. Maybe you took the imbalance trade. I think that would have been a little sus, but again, you're looking at this high. But it's lower probability because this hasn't actually achieved anything until that breaks. We don't like buying just based off of emotional candles. That would have worked here, I suppose. You would have gotten wrecked doing that here, or even there, I suppose. Right? We'll see. Your 15 closed bullish. That's good. Right? We're kind of defending the open of it here. I do think we trade down a little bit. I'd like to see that low taken and then into this sort of manipulation leg here, if possible. And if not, then it probably leaves me behind, which will be very unfortunate. And all this I say with a grain of salt because we didn't get a validated high in here. We did here. And then we validated, well, we validated a low there actually. So we're technically in between this low and that high even still, this swing. Right? So we could, in theory, be ranging, in which case we're building a big SNDR to take this 819. We stabbed into that 5-minute imbalance as well. That's rough. That's not all you're giving us, is it? I think we run this high, but I'm not really wild about buying up here inside of a range. I wanted something a little bit lower than that, and if it didn't offer it, then I can't justify it. Hey Wafa, how you doing? I think this sets up for a beautiful move one way or the other. I think people shorting off of this high obviously are quite happy, especially with this follow through. But we'll see. We'll see if we get any sort of reaction from this and then taking this 905 low. I'm going to hit that there. And then this will be a very tight stop if it's wrong. Ooh, this looks like it's going to be a death. Not good, not good, not good. Lift, you prick. How'd I get in at 9.10? That's a horrific entry. No, it's going to take me out for sure. Okay. Where did I even get in on that? Here? That's brutal. No, I don't like this now. It could run, right? We're talking about this. We're talking maybe something here, right? That was just a awful fill, and I probably should have been in around here. Obviously not the fill, obviously my execution of it, but we'll see. And again, the idea was this: spike, failure, yes, but thought that at the very least we would get this taking liquidity and then a quick and painless 20 points. No bueno, obviously. So, I'm going to take this off here. We could be stabbing into this a little bit further, but no bueno so far. Charging down. Maybe. That low being 67. We haven't taken it yet. We'll see what kind of a movement back up we get, but I can't just short based off of bear bars, despite really liking the movement. Can't justify it. Now, violent PA, major move lower. We'll see if we get some form of failure above some of these candles to be able to justify it. Any form of a rally. So now we're looking at this 82 high. If. Right, there's your sweep, cool. We might only trade into the open of it, but I need something a little bit more substantial in terms of a rally. People will be buying here. You got a little bit of a smiley face going on. I didn't quite get up there high enough. Well, this is charging lower. We probably dump underneath this 56 and then go for a run. That would be at least 42. There it goes. Oh. $56.25, closed at 57. One, two, three, four, five, 6 bear bars. We'll see what happens if we get a bullish one. I think people will sell the close of it despite what it looks like. 27 seconds. Nice 10:30 movement. Fair enough. I'm going to remove that now. I think it's still kind of valid, but you're probably looking at something a little bit more substantial of a pullback, if it's going to. Oh, that wouldn't have got me triggered in anyways, even if it did. This is your valid candle here at 879.25. If it can validate, which looks like it's not going to. So if we get another stab up here. No, that's not going to. I'll have to hit the open if it trades back in to the open of this. And then stop goes above. And again, looking for ideally some inability to rally sideways, which then leads to lower prices. But it looks like I just missed it. I don't know why I wanted 82 from earlier when the high that needed to be swept and failed was there, given strong context. Can't jump in here despite momentum. I still think that we will trade up to this here, and we'll see what that looks like. What is that? 70, 75? And this is going to be an immediate exit if we don't get a dump. I don't want it taking this high for sure. Wow. Okay. Immediate exit. Okay. Expecting a range. That was brutal, actually. We'll see what goes on here. Oh my God. Literally couldn't have been faster to take a loss there. Literally could not have been faster. That's brutal. So the idea was that this candle traded up to the open of this, and that we found a wick and failure, and that we ended up with a reverse smiley, not taking liquidity for whatever reason. So that was insane. Now taking this low, we've got only this one left at 30. We've left that for right now, 30.25. See if we get a movement back up into here. And this would be my last trade on this account for the day, I think. That would trade up to 54s. Again, looking for that sort of stab and then continuation. I doubt it trades off the wick, but that will be a possibility as well. Not wild about shorting this low, but price action wise, this is extremely bearish. So looking at 54s, and then that just did that there. And this is either going to die or it's going to take me out for a last loss of the day. And if it starts running, I don't want to take only 20 points on this. This is going down to here now. All right, should take at least this low at 31. And the reason is because we got a bearish engulfing candle here. This is actually a little sus, but still holding with conviction on it. And okay, let's see what we get. If this goes red to green, or sorry, green to red, then I'm going to add at 46 for the move. Yes, we're low. Yes, I'm adding to my position. But again, looking at this movement here. Not expecting accumulation, manipulation, and then a movement. I'm expecting death. That candle did not go green to red. So this is concerning, of course, but we should at least take this low. If we fail underneath here and 30, then maybe. But this is what I want to see out of like an SNDR idea. Trade back into it, leaves, and then should take 19s. Let's actually move that quite a bit, and I'll manually exit if I have to. Wow, did that just really run it out? And take that, and I'm gonna take it off here. Take that off there. I still think we're gonna get death, but we've taken the target now, so now I'm gonna wait and see if we get a movement back up or what we're gonna do. Did anybody grab anything in here? Do we understand at least why we can short this low, even if the execution was horrific here, scalp-wise? I think that was very, very violent. Are we green at least? What do we got going on here? Right, we could be looking for like, this is your extensions. In reality, I've still got another 100 points here to hold on to. Right? Not wild about shorting the lows, but I have to respect price action. Right? So judging this absolutely irrelevant from the long that was lost here. Judging it irrelevant from the short that I got taken out on here. All of it. And I should still be in this. I should still be in this. Right? Beautiful. Yeah, that was a very good trade. I flubbed that one for sure. I flubbed that one for sure. The sweep above this, trades back through. That's quick 20 points. Good. We'll wait and see if we get anything in here, but approaching 1050. Pretty sure this account is red on the day. Yeah, $400 red. Okay. That's like not even a scalp in this. Anyway. I think what we'll do is we'll what do we make? 1,500 per ETF account, and then small red on this so far, but I think that'll be made back easily. What we'll do is we'll do the giveaway. This morning looks like it's going to be quite fun. So what I'll probably do is I'll probably hop back on YouTube when I'm home. and we'll run it. We'll run it up. We'll run it down. We'll see what goes on, and then we'll sort it out. But yeah, this was kind of the telltale story, I suppose. Right? Beautiful trades in here. Sweep, fail, cool. You could even argue this one. And that was probably a risky long that I took, but I was expecting the 50-minute bullish to at least trade up to this area here. Didn't quite get that, which gave more conviction to the downside. But look at this, just drop. Another 50, 60 points from where I covered. No structural reason, no price action reason to cover at all. Right? That was a perfect doji at the lows, which led to further sell-off. Yeah, beautiful, JB. Beautiful. Nothing wrong with that at all. Right? We don't need to be in here for this. Obviously, if that works, that's great. We can find different reasons. Right? If we have conviction here and we want to see XYZ, not only do we have failure above here, which means this low should get wrecked, which it did. There's nothing wrong with taking trades here, understanding whereabouts you're wrong, right? And I think what trips a lot of people up is we're so far down, so we can't short in here. And beyond that, we short here and then we add. And then we expect this, and what ends up happening is we get this, which then goes down, and there goes your account. All right. 1050, no reversal. Looks like we're trading into our area of interest here. I don't expect much. VIX at 28s. VIX at 28s. We got nothing until 490. We're inside of this SNDR area here, in fairness. Right? But man, are we ever inside of it. Like almost at the bottom. And yeah, I think we've got these equal lows here as well. Those are a juicy target. Final target would be 87.5. Whether that's today or not, probably not. Probably not. Here's your day already. You got a high at 177. We're about 400 points. About 400 points. No, we're more than that. Yeah, about 400 points. Sorry. All right, so we could be looking at a lot more, lads, based off of this higher time frame delivery here. One Trump tweet away. Please don't tweet while I'm in a position. Yeah, I'll be back in about an hour. We'll run it up. I'll make another post for the YouTube stream, so stay tuned. Join the school community, and make sure you guys are wearing your lucky socks and underwear and all that sort of stuff for the ETF accounts that are coming up. We're giving away 6. 3 of them are static. 3 of them are static, so stay safe, lads. Bye, 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 bye.